It was a house that had been empty for years. The windows were covered in layers of dust, the front door creaked loudly when it was pushed open, and the paint on the walls had long since peeled away. But there was something alluring about it, a mystery that Drew could not resist. Drew had heard stories about the house from his childhood, stories whispered by old women in town. They said the house was cursed, that it was haunted by the spirits of those who had lived there before. But Drew did not believe in ghosts. He was an atheist, a man of reason. So when the opportunity came to spend a night inside the house for a bet, he accepted without hesitation. As Drew stepped inside, the air felt heavy, thick with the scent of mildew and age. The wooden floorboards groaned beneath his feet, as if the house itself were waking up. But there was no turning back now. He pulled out his phone, set it to record, and started walking deeper into the house. The walls were lined with old portraits. Their faces blurred and indistinguishable, as though they had been intentionally erased. Drew ran his fingers along the dusty frames, laughing to himself. "This place is a joke," he muttered. Suddenly, a faint sound reached his ears, like a whisper. He stopped and listened. It wasn't the wind, not the creak of old wood. No, this sound was coming from somewhere else. He took a step forward. "Hello?" Drew called out. The whisper stopped. He walked deeper into the house, his phone's flashlight cutting through the darkness. As he moved into the hallway, he passed a narrow door that was slightly ajar. He hesitated. Something inside him told him not to open it. But curiosity won out. He pushed the door open, revealing a small room. There was a rocking chair in a corner, moving back and forth as if someone had just left it. The sight of it unnerved Drew, and he quickly turned away, only to catch a glimpse of something in the mirror across the room. His reflection was there, but there was something wrong. A dark figure stood just behind him, too close, its features obscured by the shadows. Drew spun around, his heart racing, but there was nothing there. "Get a grip," he whispered to himself, running his hands through his hair. But then, he heard it again. The whisper. This time, it was clearer. "Get out." Drew's blood ran cold. He felt the hair on the back of his neck rise, the hairs prickling with an icy sensation. His phone's flashlight flickered, and for a split second, the entire house seemed to hum, as though it were alive, breathing. He rushed down the hallway, his footsteps echoing through the empty house. The whispers followed him, louder now, more frantic. His heart hammered in his chest as he reached the stairs, his foot hovering over the first step. A chill ran through him, and he froze. There, at the top of the stairs, standing just beyond the threshold of the second floor, was a figure, a shadowy silhouette. Drew couldn't make out any features, but he could feel its presence, as if it were staring directly at him. "Leave. Now," the whisper rasped. In a panic, Drew bolted for the front door. But as he reached for the handle, the door slammed shut in his face. His stomach dropped. The room grew colder, and the whispering grew louder, surrounding him, filling every corner of the house. "Get out." The door wouldn't open. Drew's hands trembled as he yanked at the handle, his breath coming out in shallow gasps. His eyes darted around the room. The walls seemed to close in on him, the air thick with something oppressive. And then, as if in slow motion, the rocking chair began to move again. Back and forth, creaking louder with each movement. Drew turned, his breath caught in his throat. There, in the seat of the chair, was the figure of a woman, her face obscured by a dark veil. She was watching him. Suddenly, the chair stopped rocking. Drew's heart nearly stopped as a voice broke through the silence. "Don't." He could feel its presence, as if it were staring directly at him. "Leave. Now, leave me alone." The figure rose from the chair, her footsteps soft but deliberate. Drew tried to run, but his legs wouldn't move. He was rooted to the spot, paralyzed by fear. The woman moved closer, her shadow stretching along the floor as she reached out toward him. Her hand brushed his cheek. It was cold, so cold, like death itself. He opened his mouth to scream, but no sound came out. He tried to push her away, but his hands passed right through her. And then, with a final whisper, the figure leaned close and said, "You're one of us now." Suddenly, the house was silent again. Drew's body went numb as he realized he was no longer alone. The whispers, the shadows, the cold they were part of him now. And from the darkness, a new voice echoed in his mind. "Welcome home."